In 2022, many personal finance experts predict that the latest economic crisis will hit home. If this happens, most people will likely have to face the impending consequences of their bad money habits. But fortunately, you don't have to be one of those people, because in this video, I will share with you 7 money habits you must avoid in 2022. And if you're new to the channel, then hit the subscribe button below for more life-changing content. Habit number 1, getting comfortable taking on consumer debt. In 2022, a lot of people will likely be caught in the trap of consumer debt. This is because it's so easy to get caught up in our materialistic world and get into debt. Sadly, most people are fully aware that credit card debt is one of the worst kinds of debt to have, but still assume it anyways. Now, I will admit that credit cards offer a ton of convenience, but they can also be the cause of financial problems. This is because people tend to overuse them, charging them more than they actually have the cash to pay back, which leads to more interest and impending financial doom. If you ask me, developing the habit of being comfortable with having consumer debts is one of the gravest financial mistakes you can make. Poor people are often entrapped by debt in their search for the American dream, while wealthy people can easily afford to repay their debts, and this is just one of the factors that separate these two economic groups. Honestly, it's quite unfortunate when people relinquish their dream of financial freedom to settle for comforts and debt. But as a boss, you must avoid this from happening to you. Avoid getting into unnecessary debt and focus on getting out of any debt mess that you may have gotten yourself into. People have to remind themselves that they don't need debts to pay for their needs. You can create wealth, but to do that, it is imperative to get out of consumer debts such as credit card debts. Those who are in debt have a tendency to compromise on their financial goals. You should always keep in mind that your finances are just as necessary as other areas of your life. If you find yourself in debt, do not compromise on your financial goals. Instead, stay strong, review your expenses, cut down where necessary, and of course, set a budget. Also, you need to educate yourself about various kinds of debt. There are debts that are referred to as good debts because you can use them to create an investment or a business opportunity. Then, of course, there are bad debts, which are usually used on unnecessary things, and when you can avoid the latter, you'll be sidestepping a major mistake that most people, unfortunately, are going to be making in 2022. Habit number 2, paying yourself last. Most people have a terrible habit of putting themselves last in their list of priorities. This is such a terrible money habit that will only make you poor in the long run. You need to make it a point that as soon as you get paid, you should pay yourself first. But before we move ahead, what do I really mean by paying yourself first? Well, stay with me and I'll explain in this video. Paying yourself first simply means automatically setting aside a certain amount of your income for saving contributions immediately after receiving your payment. This ought to be done even before you pay your other bills and expenses, and this is an excellent habit that everyone should develop, because otherwise you risk having nothing left when everyone else gets paid, and that simply won't do. Basically, whenever you get paid, always set aside some of it for yourself, whether big or small. You can decide how much, but I personally recommend at least 30%. Habit number 3, spending without tracking. Spending money without tracking is one of the deadliest habits that a lot of people have developed over the years. However, should you discover that you also possess this habit, hopefully before this video is over, you'll understand why you simply cannot continue living that way. The problem here is that most people fail to really understand their expenses, and by this, I mean that they have little to no idea of how much they are spending on a monthly basis. These are the main reasons why most people get into bad money habits such as overspending and not saving enough money. If you have little comprehension surrounding your expenses, it will be extremely difficult for you to save or cut down on what you spend. In order to create a strong foundation for your financial future, it is vital that you keep track of your expenses. This way, you can easily save money where there are unnecessary expenses. And if you don't have any planned savings contributions, then you'll just continue with your normal spending habits, which I'm gonna guess haven't gotten you as far as you would like financially. Keep in mind that there are different ways to track your spending. There are simply the pen and paper method, which most people still do, but electronic tools are available today, which will help you track your expenses without a lot of hassle. What's crucial is that you know what you're doing before you jump right into any method. If you aren't very good at tracking your expenses on your own, it would be best to try and learn how to do it properly first before you start tracking your own spending. Whether you use pen and paper or electronic methods, the most important thing is knowing where your money goes so that you can make intelligent financial decisions and optimize your future wealth. Habit number 4, manually managing your investments. A lot of investors and traders still use the old manual way to trade online. This method is quite time consuming and it can also be very confusing for some traders. And if this sounds like you, it's time to make the move to the 21st century and up your investing game once and for all. And you can start by using automated trading services. By using automated trading services and apps to manage your investments, you can essentially make a lot of valuable and efficient money management decisions in the long term. Let's face it, there are a lot of problems that can be caused by losing track of your investments. And when this happens, you will end up facing unnecessary hardships because you don't keep track of your assets regularly. Your investments will fall into the red or worse, and you may lose every last penny you've invested. So when trading, you will have to deal with a lot of information all at once. It's no wonder manual investing has been replaced by modern automated trading sites that many people are already using today. These computerized trading sites include robo-advisors, trading signals, and vast arrays of charting software. With these types of automated trading solutions, you don't have to worry about managing your own investments because everything will be taken care of for you. You also have the freedom to sit back and relax while these automated trading sites handle all of your trading and investment transactions. When you automate your investments, you'll be able to minimize the stress that comes along with manually trading online. However, this is not to say that you leave everything to automation. You still need to be on the lookout to know when you need to make modifications to your investment strategies. Habit number 5, paying unnecessary tax. Like most individuals, you probably don't fully understand how taxes work, and this is a bad habit that you should try to fix. Quite a lot of people think that they will only be paying government taxes when they are working and receiving a paycheck, but tax can also be applied to your income even if you don't have a job. The fundamental issue here is that most people don't know how much tax they're actually paying, so they end up paying more than needed. It's helpful to understand how you're being taxed because knowledge of it can strengthen your financial security. So, what is the best way to successfully achieve this goal? Stick around and I'll elaborate in this video. First, what you're going to want to do is calculate your expected income for the year. For most people, this is their annual salary, and this amount will give you a rough idea as to how much you will owe in taxes at the national and local level. Then, based on these figures, you can start to devise a plan to reduce those owings as much as possible. For instance, if you're an employee, you can contribute to your employer's 401k plan to reduce your tax owings in the current year and potentially even get an employer match. As a business owner, you can seek greater deductions or alternate tax structures that can save you money now and into the future. In short, when it comes to tax, the more aware you are of the taxes you're paying, the more you can avoid them. Habit number 6, succumbing to lifestyle creep. Lifestyle creep is a bad habit that you need to avoid at all costs. This is a problem that many people often encounter when they begin to step up their lifestyle. Lifestyle creep refers to the habit of spending more as your income increases. Sadly, this is an issue that aggravates most people who have larger incomes. If you're one of these people, you may need help curbing this bad habit before it gets too out of hand. The best way to deal with lifestyle creep is to keep a close eye on your expenses. If you're struggling to handle your current expenses, then it can be assumed that soon enough, you'll have to stop your current spending habits altogether. In fact, you should try to stick with the same spending habits as your income rises and allow the spread to widen as much as possible between your income and your expenses. One of the most effective ways to curb this terrible financial habit is by tracking your expenses. I already talked about this in habit number 3, but I will restate that logging every penny that leaves your pocket, whether that's on a piece of paper, in your phone, on a spreadsheet, will significantly reduce any risk you have of compromising your wealth due to lifestyle creep. Habit number 7, not working on your monetizable skills. We all have certain skills and knowledge, but sadly, most people don't employ these assets to increase their income. In short, people either have monetizable skills and don't opportunize them or simply lack them in the first place. For those who lack a monetizable skill, it's likely the result of not putting in the effort. They would rather watch Netflix for 4 hours a night than learn a new skill that could change their financial future forever. Alternatively, those who have valuable skills often have no idea how to leverage them to make more money and as a result remain stagnant in their wealth journeys. Regardless of the position you're in presently, aim to turn your skills into dollars. Find a skill you like, market that skill, and close clients. Then, once you've mastered this process, rinse and repeat. By doing this, I promise you, 2022 will be your year. Hey, it looks like YouTube thinks this next video is the one that will change your financial life forever. Give it a watch and let's see if they're right.